I want to bring in now Kellyanne Conway, polling expert and former senior counselor to President Trump. Thank you so very much for being in focus. Let's begin with what the polling tells us. Go deep for us, Kellyanne.
Yes, this New York Times poll is devastating. Harris, 33% approve of Joe Biden, but 64% of Democrats, as you say, want, quote, someone else. They have concluded Joe Biden's not even trying to be a good president. They're whistling right past him. And note how they're not saying, note how these Democrats, Harris, are not saying off the record or on the record. And you know what? Let's just let Kamala take over now. Thanks for elevating her and making history with her. We'd like the vice president to step in. Seems like they've looked past her, too. You have governors in California and Illinois, these high-tax, high-regulation states that hate school choice, did a terrible job all through the pandemic, spend way too much money, and yet they think they should be running against Joe Biden. In that same New York Times poll, Harris, I dug a little bit deeply this morning, 94, not a mispronunciation, 94% of Democrats under the age of 30 say they want someone other than Joe Biden. They favor Joe Biden 60-30 in the last presidential election. He did 5 points better among young people under 30 than Hillary did 4 years earlier. So this is devastating. And look, I think for Biden and the Democrats, they're attacking each other now for a very simple reason. The usual boogeymans are not available to them. Boogeymen are not available to them. They can blame the vast right and conspiracy, but it's a Democratic Party that's looking under the hood and saying we've got a lemon on our hands. And lastly, they like to say, but Trump, Trump, Trump. Every time Joe Biden says Donald Trump's name now, voters say two things. Number one, they say, man up. You've been the president for a year and a half. You created this bad economy, energy dependence, Putin in Ukraine. Number two, thanks for reminding me about Donald Trump and how great we all had it. If I'm Joe Biden, I don't want to make this a binary choice between Trump's economy and Biden's economy.
Well, and the ultra MAGA label, too, I've been reading some polling on that. I mean, people identify with that because it's the equivalent to the deplorable. And you only sort of magnify the issue of what's not working and what they're missing, as you say, when you do the name calling. I want to get to this because you so beautifully put it. They are whistling on past Kamala Harris and some others. Democrats continue to cast doubt, though, on the president, with the Vice President Harris and Pete Buttigieg insisting there's nothing to see here. Biden's going to run in 2024. Let's take a watch.
Listen to President Biden. He intends to run. And if he does, I intend to run with him. So there you go.
Yes, I do expect him to run. I'll support him.
Meanwhile, the Washington Examiner is reporting that a number of top Democrats are positioning themselves for a 2024 bid. Yes, she'll have a birthday, October 13th. She was born in 1989, so everybody doing the math saying how young AOC is. Well, again, we only grow in one direction, so she would be eligible. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker on the list and California Governor Gavin Newsom. You mentioned the people jumping into the pot and nobody talking about on or off the record. Why is all of that significant?
It's significant because they actually have the White House. He's only been there a year and a half. He's eligible to have 8 years, Harris. And they're the ones, the Democrats are the ones saying no more Joe Biden. And for the New York Times to even ask the polling question tells you all you need to know about where the professional and hard left is right now. The New York Times did everything it could to get Joe Biden elected and get rid of Donald Trump as president, including pretending that the Hunter laptop was Russian disinformation and nothing to see here. They did everything they could, but their own polling, the questions that they choose to put in their polling tells you there's an urgency among the hard left, the professional left, to get rid of him. The Biden White House is in a fight with Elon Musk. They're in a fight with Jeff Bezos. You're not going to win that fight. And look, the Biden, when he stands up and says, look at all the jobs you created, here's what I see coming in the second half of 2022. Obviously, the midterms will be a disaster for them. But before that, we're 6 weeks away or so, Harris, from the one-year anniversary of the deadly, chaotic Afghanistan pullout. That's all Joe Biden. He didn't listen to the generals. He left $85 billion worth of our intelligence and equipment, turned it over to the Taliban. Then you're going to have, you have people who are job holders now facing homelessness, not just gas and grocery and inflation on everyday consumables. Harris, they're about to not be able to afford car payments, tuition payments, student loan payments, rent and mortgage. That's the next big problem in our economy. So they're not going to care if you say there are available jobs. People in the households, Harris, say, I have 2, 3 jobs in my household. It's just not enough anymore. How did that happen? And they blame Joe Biden.
It's still not enough. It's still not enough is what I hear from viewers all the time. And most people come up, they say they watch Fox, whatever. But now people go deeper, and I'm sure you see this too in your polling. People are willing to tell you what they're feeling. As we led up to this at the very top of this hour, you saw the woman say it's not just about not voting for Biden. She's not looking to the left right now. All right, I have another big issue to get to with you. Another big inflation report is expected to come out this week, and some experts are predicting some pretty dire news. The Biden administration is struggling to put some sort of positive message on the issue. Well, lipstick on a pig. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, here she comes again.
I really doubt that we're going to see an inflationary cycle. I think I was wrong then about the path that inflation would take. Well, I expect the economy to slow, but I don't think a recession is at all inevitable.
New Hampshire's Republican Governor Chris Sununu is now calling Yellen out.
You had a Treasury Secretary who was saying, oh, well, it's not inevitable. Well, of course it's inevitable. I would fire the Treasury Secretary. I think she's completely misled America because she didn't want to kind of own the bad news. But that's part of public service. You got to own the good with the bad.
Wow. Would you start there, Kellyanne?
Yes, I would. She's one of the few people, though, who's ever admitted fault, ever admitted that she made a mistake and corrected it. It took her a year to do that. Look, when it comes to recession, people don't worry, Harris, what the economists say. They worry about what their own economic wherewithal is. And that's the problem Joe Biden has. 13% of the country are not reporting we're going in the right direction, and close to 80% or over 80% wrong track, because they're upset about the local water bill. They're upset about the national economy. Here's what they're upset about: the uncertainty, the chaos, the crisis. People are looking forward a little bit, projecting their economic wherewithal, and they see storm clouds forming, overlaying complete blank slate. In other words, uncertainty, crisis, and chaos. But here's what I think about the recession. What Joe Biden should say to people is, I know you're hurting. I hear you. I see you. This White House seems unable to admit the basic precepts of Politics 101, which is, we don't tell voters what's important to them. They tell us.
Right.
And in every single poll, it is unmistakable. And by the way, Harris, I've never seen an issue set that's been so plain and clear for this long period of time. And so I feel like they're basically saying to Americans now, it's the economy and you're stupid, instead of it's the economy stupid. They seem to be blaming the voters for not doing a better job finding lower prices. But I'm telling you, mark my word, it's not just gas and groceries, which is, the economists say, is going to cost us about $2,000 more per household now in energy. It's the big ticket items we're not going to be able to bear. It's coming.
Well, and the list that you enumerated moments ago, close to homelessness, as you can't pay your car bills and all those things that get you on your way to going to work. And many people not wanting to come into big cities because of the crime. So they're looking for ways to get around that public transportation too, which unfortunately in places like Brooklyn exposes you to all sorts of things. You're talking about having a Bill Clinton moment. I feel your pain. No, we haven't seen it. I want to get to this. I tweeted about this, I think it was yesterday, sometime over the weekend, and people responded with some pretty fiery remarks. But here's what got it started. Commerce Secretary Raimondo trying to ease inflation fears and telling us that there's no serious recession.
I do think at some point, we will see a less rapid growth in the economy. But I don't see any reason to think that we will have a serious recession. Inflation is our problem, and it is our top priority. Perhaps a transition to a more traditional growth level, but I don't think we should be talking ourselves into a recession.
Every recession would be serious. I mean, I feel like I just stepped into the land of utopia somewhere in the Biden household.
They deserve more pushback from the hosts that are really letting them say whatever they want. Nobody on TV is under oath. Let me remind everybody that right now. You see that with these different cabinet secretaries who basically, Harris, all have the same message coming out of the Biden administration, as does the press secretary. But it's not the message Americans want to hear or are conveying back to them. Look, Joe Biden made a huge mistake early on by putting forth $6 trillion in spending. President Trump and the Congress passed a $2.2 trillion CARES Act, you'll recall, in the midst of a once-in-a-century global pandemic. And the next quarter, the economy grew by about a third. That's not happening here. What he did was he put it in 3 tranches. First, he had the American Rescue Plan 1.9, then he had infrastructure and, quote, I think it was family support and whatnot. But that spending alone has really hurt us, because if you look at the inflation numbers since then. Last point, when people are trying to buy a new home, you've got these couples now, they have life interrupted, the kids are not all right, they had to put that on hold during COVID. Now they finally get their financial wherewithal, and what are they facing? These crazy mortgage rates. So when you tell people it's not that bad, and they feel that it is that bad, when you take away someone's financial freedom, you take away their freedom. And Joe Biden and the Democrats answered everything as Roe versus Wade, Roe versus Wade, Roe versus Wade. And women are not single issue thinkers. We are not single issue voters.
No.
Stop talking to us about one issue. We can do the economy, energy, education, immigration, inflation, and abortion.
We can do everything. We can do anything.
Yes, we can.
We're Americans. I mean, I don't know why they don't just see us that way, but yes, as women, we are mighty. Kellyanne Conway, good to see you today. Thank you for being in focus.
Thank you, Harris.